Hey guys, First Regardsman here. Let's be talking about every single primary weapon in Space Marine 2 patch 10.3 and tier listing them. Now, all the primary weapons in this game are in a fairly good spot right now. There are only a couple that I would say are dramatically underperforming at times. We'll get into those, but first, I just want to go through them each one by one and tier list them. So first up, we have the Auto Bolt Rifle. Now, in patch 10.0, they did buff up the base damage of the Auto Bolt Rifle. They also gave it a bit of a buff at close range to its damage multipliers. Pretty strong now, I would say, at least strong compared to where it was before, but in the official dev note, they did say that the Auto Bolt Rifle will always be underperforming compared to like more, I should say, expert level weapons like the Marksman Carbine, Bolt Rifle, and stuff like that. It will never like properly live up to them, which is a pretty stupid dev statement. They actually said they want to move this thing into like the standard Bolt Rifle as a variant, but they can't do that without breaking saves. So for that reason, Auto Bolt Rifle will always kind of underperform, but to be honest, I don't think this weapon is that bad right now. I actually prefer it over the Heavy Bolt Rifle currently. I would probably say this one goes into C for like underperforming, but it's not horrific. Like you can definitely get away with using it now. I would not take it to Chaos because Chaos currently just kind of mops this thing, but it's by no means horrific. So if you want to take this like Tyranids or stuff like that, you can definitely do so, though it does underperform compared to other versions by design apparently. Next weapon we have here is the Bolt Carbine. Now, Bolt Carbine is, I think, the best automatic bolt weapon in the entire game besides the Heavy Bolt Rifle, or excuse me, not the Heavy Bolt Rifle, the Heavy Bolter, and this thing has amazing CHP recovery and amazing headshot multiplier at close range. It is not quite as good versus Chaos as it used to be in like patch 9.0, but only because the Chaos spawn do not have a proper headshot multiplier buff right now, which means this weapon doesn't actually get to do its full damage versus them, which does suck, but it's still very strong. I would say this is an A tier weapon. It really does overperform. Its ammo economy is also quite good compared to a lot of the other options. And really, when we look at all the Bolt Carbines in this game, this one gets the headshot bonus plus fat magazine sizes. On top of the fact you can take ammo reserve options on this and not lose out on accuracy because it has an amazing perk with home precision that gives you a 50% decreased spread while hip firing, which basically turns your gun into a laser beam. Now, next weapon we have here is the Bolt Rifle with Grenade Launcher. This weapon used to be guaranteed S tier. I think this thing is still S tier for Siege mode, but as far as like operations and hard strats go, I think it is underperforming. You simply don't get enough value out of the grenades to like really take this over, say, the accuracy bolt rifle right now. In patch 9.0, they did buff up the standard bolt rifle's accuracy version to have a ×2 headshot multiplier. It is quite strong at the moment. And meanwhile, the bolt rifle with grenade launcher got a massive fat nerf way back when to its Emperor's Vengeance grenade restores, which does suck ass. It is not remotely as good as it used to be. It is amazing in Siege mode, mainly because you have the Prestige perk, Spare Power, to get back your Auspex on ammo boxes, and you can just buy ammo boxes in that mode. And for Siege mode, I do think it is still S tier, even with the current Chaos spawn, and it's also been used in like the Wave 40 run we did in patch 9.0, but as of right now, for hard strats and operations, I would say it's like goes to B, or maybe even C. But as far as Siege mode goes, I would say S, so I'll put it up here just for that reason. Just like keep in mind, we're talking about Siege mode, we put it up here. Next weapon is the Bolt Rifle. Now, the standard Bolt Rifle was underperforming for a very long time, and like I said before, in patch 9.0, they did buff up the headshot multiplier variant to have a ×2 headshot multiplier. It is significantly stronger now. This is actually my preferred bolt weapon in the entire game. Being able to pop Tyranid heads from like a mile away and get armor back on top of a pretty great TTK is pretty amazing on this thing. I would say it is comparable to the Stalker Bolt Rifle, maybe less, less effective versus things like Zoanthropes, but overall, very, very strong. I would put it in A tier right now. I do think the accuracy variant is that good. And this kind of falls in line with like a big issue with most of the weapons in this game, is that when we take into account all of their variants, some variants just suck on these weapons, but their best variants usually perform pretty damn well. Now, next weapon we have here is the Marksman Carbine. Now, the Marksman Carbine also got a ×2 headshot multiplier buff to its accuracy variant in patch 9.0. It is also way better now. I don't think it is quite as good as the Bolt Rifle, mainly because its ammo economy sucks, That's kind of true for the bolt rifle as well, to be honest, with that Emperor's Vengeance. Really, on tactical, the Emperor's Vengeance simply overperforms, but this weapon is on sniper and Vanguard and tactical, and I would say on those classes, especially the Vanguard, it really does just run out of ammo super quickly. I don't think it's quite as good as the bolt rifle. You could definitely make the argument for it being an A, but I would say for now it is a very high B. It's not terrible by any means. It definitely performs quite well versus Tyranids, but not as well as the bolt rifle in my opinion, and the ammo economy sucks. Next weapon we have here is the Bolt Sniper Rifle. Now, Bolt Sniper Rifle also got a headshot multiplier buff and a rate of fire buff to its respective variants in patch 9.0. It is significantly better now than it used to be, especially after the prestige perk buffs that the sniper class got, where its ammo economy is kind of solved. Allegedly, there will be a Bolt Sniper Rifle that gets ammunition back on headshots, but besides that, I don't think it's going to be that amazing overall, because the Bolt Sniper Rifle is pretty much completely outclassed by the Last Fusil. Some people don't like the Last Fusil, and the only thing the Bolt Snipers are really better at is just firing like off rip, basically. You don't have to charge it at all, but the Last Fusil is just way better despite that. So I would say Bolt Sniper Rifle, not bad by any means. It's just outclassed. I put it in a high B as well. It's still a strong weapon, not very good at all versus Chaos, but versus Tyranids is quite good. Next weapon we have here is the Heavy Bolt Rifle. The Heavy Bolt Rifle is one of the most underperforming guns in this game right now, tragically. It's a pretty cool gun, it's very good at wiping out Minoris, but as far as headshot multipliers go, it just sucks, and headshot multipliers are the most important part of any bolt weapon in this game, and it's simply not quite there. It is the worst gun on Heavy, it is one of the worst guns on Tactical. I would say this one actually goes into like low C or even D tier, because to be honest, without the scope variant on this, you do practically no headshot damage. It is abysmal if you build like full damage perks on Tactical. I would say this weapon just needs like a straight up buff to its headshot multiplier again, because if they can like bring it up to the auto bolt rifle at close range whatsoever, it would be pretty decent. The only place this thing really performs well is like medium range, but once again, things like the bolt rifle perform way better at medium range, so there's literally no reason to take this outside of ammo economy and Minoris killing, and Minoris killing is already very easy in this game, so I would put this one in D tier for now. You could make the argument it should be in like low C, but really this weapon just needs a buff. Next weapon here is the Heavy Bolter. Now, the Heavy Bolter is the best automatic in the entire game for any bolt weapon, even over the bolt carbine. This one does stupid damage, amazing ammo economy, amazing damage buffs on the Heavy class. I mean, come on, guys. It's a heavy weapon. Heavy weapons always overperform in this game because the Heavy is just that guy, and this thing is no different. The only place this thing kind of struggles is versus the Chaos Spawn right now, because Chaos Spawn, once again, do not have a proper headshot multiplier buff on them. You don't actually get that bonus headshot damage, which is why they're so hard to stop reinforcements on. But even with that in mind, you can still take this to Chaos and do pretty well. I would put it in a high A tier. It is a very strong gun, not quite at the peak of Heavy, but definitely good. Next weapon we have here is the Heavy Plasma Incinerator. This weapon fucks. It is amazing how goddamn good this weapon is. The AoE, the common shots, the charge shots, they are all top tier. This is one of the best boss killers in the entire game. Pretty decent ammo economy for how much damage you can actually put out, and the Heavy class has amazing ammunition restore perk synergy with this, with stuff like Fortitude and Conviction. Heavy Plasma is just that gun. It is a top 3 gun in the entire game as far as I am concerned, and I would easily put it in the S tier. This gun has been good since launch, and it's really only gotten better since then. Next weapon we have here is the Instigator Bolt Carbine. I think this is the worst bolt carbine in the game currently, mainly because, first of all, its headshot multiplier buff is just not that good in this game. It has a 1.8 on the accuracy variant, and the accuracy variant for this has horrific ammo economy. And really, the only place this thing has good synergy is on the Sniper class for Pattern of Excellence. I don't think it's unusable by any means, like it's not a C tier or D tier weapon, but it's just not that incredible. I would put it in a low B. It is fun to use on Sniper, like I really do enjoy it on there, it's just not quite good. Or excuse me, not quite where it should be at the moment. Could use a bit of a buff to like take it up to A in my opinion, but that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Next weapon we have here is the Last Fusil. The Last Fusil is the strongest weapon on Sniper. This thing has also been top tier since the launch of the game. It is kind of absurd how much damage this actually puts out. The ammo economy is also quite strong with things like the Last Fusil efficiency perk that lets you get all of your ammunition back off like a penetration kill. Really strong weapon, positively nukes Neurothropes, does significant damage versus Chaos Terminators as well, has a pretty fat radius and great ammo economy. I think this is an amazing weapon. You could definitely make the argument it should be in the top of S tier, but I would put it in very high A, only because I don't think it properly reaches like the level of S, only because on S tier, okay guys, we talk about the S tier weapons in this game. These ones can just win games all on their own versus basically any enemy in all of Space Marine 2, you know, bosses, hordes, whatever it may be. Heavy Plasma will nuke it, Bolt Rifle Grenade Launcher on Siege mode will absolutely nuke it. Blast Fusel is very powerful versus a few enemies in the game and pretty decent versus hordes, but not quite there in my opinion. If you want to say it's a low S, I definitely understand, but for me, I would put it in a very high A. Very powerful weapon, one of the best weapons in the game, but I don't think it quite reaches the level of S. Next weapon we have here is the Melter Rifle. Now in patch 9.0, the Melter Rifle's range variant got a buff to the damage fall off. It is very strong now. I actually think this is one of the best weapons versus Chaos currently, because really, Inferno pistol stocks, Melter Rifle stocks, they all went up because of the Chaos spawn, because Chaos spawn are kind of OP, and Melter Rifle really helps stagger them, really helps you get back instantaneous CHP. I think this thing is actually in a pretty good spot, and I would say it is best on Tactical and Vanguard, which, you know, the only two classes it's on, but on Tactical, you basically have infinite ammo, and on Vanguard, you do get some ammo regeneration off this weapon. So really powerful option. I would say this one goes into A. I mean, this might be a controversial placement, but the range variant is very strong right now. I actually just like this weapon a lot, and if you want to put it in B, I can definitely understand, but low A, I think is a pretty good spot. Next up, we have the Multi-Melta. This is the big brother of the standard Melter Rifle, and this one fucks as well. It is an absurdly powerful weapon. It has a double shot mechanic where you have separate cooldowns on your shots between your heavy stance and your hip fire, so you can like double fire this thing. Really OP, to be honest, at times. Amazing ammo economy, amazing synergy with the heavy class overall, and really trivializes some content in this game. This is an easy S tier. I would say it is on par with the heavy plasma for different reasons, but really you can't go wrong with either of them. Next up, we have the Pyre Cannon. This is the new weapon added into patch 10.0. The burn effects on both the Pyre Cannon and Pyre Blaster are incredible. Now, I think this one has less synergy with the heavy class the Pyre Blaster has with Tactical, because Tactical, first of all, Pyre Blaster has better perks for like melee damage buffs on the actual weapon tree for burned enemies, and the Pyre Cannon just doesn't have the CHP recovery you would expect from like a heavy weapon in general. Still very strong. Burn stacks in this game are kind of OP for boss shredding. Easily an S tier weapon on par with things like the Multi-Melta and Heavy Plasma, I'd say, but not quite at the level of the Pyre Blaster, which brings us to the Pyre Blaster. The Pyre Blaster is the tactical variant of the Pyre Cannon, basically, and this one has a better range, it has better synergy with the perks on Tactical, really fills out the gaps he has. It is the best boss damage tool he has in the entire game, completely trivializes hordes, and even though you do stack burn stacks a little bit less than the Pyre Cannon does, it doesn't really matter because you are so damn ammo efficient on a tactical class to begin with that the Pyre Blaster just overperforms. This might just be like one of the best guns in the entire game right now. It is absurd how strong this thing actually is. Easily an S tier. I think this weapon is kind of busted for all content. Maybe one day it'll nerf the burn effect, but for now, it is positively peak. Really, really good weapon. Next up, we have the Oculus Bolt Carbine. Now, Oculus Bolt Carbine did get a buff to its accuracy variant in patch 9.0 as well. This weapon is pretty good. It's only found on the Vanguard, unfortunately, so like if this was on Tactical, I would rank it much higher, but for now, I would say this one goes into like a high B. It's not quite as good as the Bolt Carbine. The ammunition economy on this is horrific. You run out a ton, and even though it has a ×2 headshot multiplier on that accuracy variant, dealing significant damage to Neurothropes is really hard in this game with this one because you just run out of ammo so fast, and that's a big problem with Vanguard in general, is that he runs out of ammo. But it's not bad by any means, and it's pretty good versus Zoanthropes and stuff like that, and has pretty decent CHP recovery, but I don't think it's quite on the level of things like the Bolt Carbine with its automatic variant, especially for ammo economy. Next weapon we have here is the Plasma Incinerator. Now, the Plasma Incinerator is the bitch-made cousin of the Heavy Plasma Incinerator. Currently, in this game's life cycle, the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol actually has a better DPS output than this does, and CHP recovery. That being said, the Plasma Incinerator is still one of the best guns in the game on Tactical. Really useful to not have to ever deal with things like the headshot multipliers on enemies, and its ammo economy is very strong on Tactical as well, and the Plasma Boost perk really does help this one out. I would say it goes into like a mid-A. It is quite strong. I say it's comparable to the Bolt Carbine currently, but things like the Pyre Blaster are just OP. This is not quite there, but still a good option for sure. The final weapon we have here is the Stalker Bolt Rifle. This weapon is also incredible. It's one of the best bolt rifles in the entire game. It positively wipes out Zoanthropes and Neurothropes, amazing for killing bosses like that. pretty incredible CHP recovery because of the per shot damage as well, and the ammo economy is very strong, even without things like Emperor's Vengeance at times, and its headshot multiplier did get buffed in patch 9.0, and it's still that way in patch 10.0, very strong option, easily A tier. I'd say this one even goes above the Bolt Carbine. I would say, though, I would say all of these are pretty comparable. It's not quite at the S, but it's a very strong option if you want to use this gun. That's pretty much all there is for the primary weapon tier list on the patch 10.0. Now, the tier list for patch 9.0 was fairly similar, but the Pyre Blaster and Pyre Cannon, I was not expecting these weapons to be as good as they actually are. They really are just top tier guns, and once again, Heavy just like fills the list on S tier guns, and that kind of makes sense because he is the gun class. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below about this tier list. Where would you rank all of the weapons in the game currently? What is your favorite? And as always, thank you for watching. If you like content like this, subscribe for more.